Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. It finally happened, y'all. My foundation drawer runneth over. So I had to make some cuts. So I thought before I give them all the boot or give them away or whatever I'm gonna do with them, that I would sit down and show you guys everything that I'm getting rid of and let you know why I'm getting rid of it and what I think about that foundation. So we're just gonna do a bunch of little mini reviews on all of these foundations. I have a plethora of them sitting in front of me. Some of these foundations I like more than others. So I thought also it would be fun to sort of count them down from my most favorite to my least favorite. If you're new here, my name's Haley. Thanks for stopping by. I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing to my channel. But let's get started. So first up is this guy. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Freshware foundation. I actually really like this foundation. It's a natural finish and it wears pretty well on me throughout the day. If it's gonna be a hot day or if I know I'm gonna be outside, it's not my #1 choice, but if I know I'm gonna have like a chill face day, nothing out of the ordinary and not too hot, anything like that, this is a good go-to. It has SPF in it, but although I do really like this foundation, I'm getting rid of it for two main reasons. Number one, this shade 425 is not really my shade. It's a little yellow for me. And two, this bottle is pretty old. So it's just her time to go. It's something that I will probably repurchase in the future. I definitely don't need it right now as I have a very full foundation drawer, but it's a good option for a drugstore foundation. It's a little pricey for a drugstore foundation. I think it's like $12 to $15 depending on where you get it from, but I probably won't repurchase it immediately, maybe in the future. Next, I have this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. So the #1 reason why I'm getting rid of this is because I have 2 bottles of it, and this bottle specifically is quite old. I got this one like around when this foundation first came out. So she is probably expired, and like I said, I do have another bottle of it. I think that I thought that I had gotten rid of this one or that I like lost it or something, so I went ahead and repurchased it, and then I just had 2 bottles of it for a while. It's a matte foundation, which y'all know I do like, but it is just very matte. It has a really nice, really beautiful coverage. For me, it looks great for like the first half of the day, but it's sometimes, if I'm having like a drier face day, it will sort of cling to the dry parts of my skin. And if I'm having like kind of an oilier day, I do find that it sort of breaks up around my nose and my smile lines, my chin, you know, where my skin gets oily on my forehead sometimes. So I do really like this foundation. Once I run out of my other bottle of it though, I don't know that I see myself repurchasing it. I just have some other matte foundations that I really like a lot better. This one is just high up on the list because I love Fenty as a brand. And yeah, but our time to go. Next I have, these are the It Causemetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream Plus Anti-Aging Hydrating Serum SPF 50. This one's SPF 50, this one's SPF 40. It Causemetics, always doing the most with the information on the packaging. Lots of words, very wordy packaging. I don't mind these. They're just definitely not my favorite for what they are. So this one, the OG, it's more of a natural finish. And then of course the matte one is matte and it is oil free. So I do like this one a little bit better, but they both, I think, irritate my skin a little bit. Like when I wear them more than one day in a row, I find that I kind of get some irritation and breakouts. And it's probably because of the SPF in it. Some products with SPF do not agree with my skin, and I think that these are one of them. They wear okay, like I said, for what they are, natural finish, matte finish, I definitely have options that I like better than these two, but they're not bad. And these were just like little minis, obviously, that I got. I'm pretty sure I got these for free, like with a purchase or something at one point. So I'm gonna get rid of them. I have another one from the L'Oreal Infallible line. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Full Coverage Weightless Feel Foundation. So as far as the L'Oreal Infallible line goes, for me anyways, I find that their misses are few and far between. This foundation though was kind of a miss for me. So this foundation, as the name suggests, is supposed to be like their full coverage version of their Infallible matte foundation, because all of their other Infallible foundations are kind of like medium coverage. So this is supposed to be total or full coverage, and it does offer coverage. I definitely have some foundations that are more full coverage, especially now, like everyone in my foundation drawer has the NARS foundation to contend with, and girl, that one is like, we're gonna be full coverage and look like we're not even there. This one's not matte, it's more of like a natural satin type of a finish. This one just did not wear well on me throughout the day. So first of all, it's kind of like a whipped texture, which is not a big deal. I didn't find that it like smoothed out nicely on my skin. It didn't look like heavy or cakey or anything. It didn't look as good as like the Freshware does when it goes on. And it did kind of break up throughout the day, even though it says it's a 24-hour foundation. So this just did not really work for me. I definitely have better options, but I do love L'Oreal and their Infallible line. And it wasn't bad. Like it was, you know, I'm of course looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, all of them. But yeah, she's gotta go. Then I have, this is the Colourpop No Filter Foundation. This is Colourpop's matte foundation. This foundation, I would say it's like medium to full coverage, and it is very matte. It's like a, like sucks all of the everything out of your face kind of a matte. And so I do find that it really likes to settle in my smile lines and my nose and my chin, breaks up on my forehead a little bit as the day goes on. When it first goes on, it looks really nice and it wears well for like a few hours for me. But yeah, it just doesn't get me all the way to the end of the day without it having issues. So she's gotta go. Then I have, this is the Catkin, I don't know what it's called. It's their Cushion Compact. I think it's like a BB cream is like what it's called on Amazon where I got it. The reason that I'm getting rid of this is because it's empty. It's dried up and I don't see myself repurchasing. Like you can get refills for it. I don't see myself repurchasing it. It's a very luminous finish, but it wears well under powder. Biggest issue is just that this is not my shade. It's like way too fair for me, and it only comes in 2 shades, and I didn't like it enough to like want to try the other shade. Also, Catkin just came out with the new foundation. I ordered it like probably a month ago, and the tracking just says that it's chilling in New York right now. So I don't know if I'll ever get it. If I do, I will probably have it on the channel, so be looking for that. But this one I don't see myself returning to. It wasn't bad though. I didn't mind it. Next up, this is the Moira Complete Wear Foundation Weightless Full Coverage Ultra Long Wear. Very similar to the Colourpop situation, where this is just a very matte foundation. So it really gets dried up throughout the day and wants to like crack in the places where we don't want it to crack. I mean, we don't want it to crack anywhere, but it does sort of crack in those fine lines and just does not look cute by the end of the day. It goes on beautifully and wears fine for like the first few hours, but yeah, once it's the end of the day, it just does not look right on me anymore. The reason this one's a little bit higher up in the list is because I like Moira. I like Moira as a brand. Also, I don't know if I'm saying Moira correctly. I might not be saying Moira. I don't know. Moira is what I'm going with. So now I'm looking at everything, and for me, there's like a very clear divide. Like all of those foundations that I just talked to you about, like I would wear again if I like absolutely had to for some reason. I didn't totally mind them. They had some redeeming qualities for me, whatever. And then now I'm looking at this other half, and this other half of foundations are just not the tea for me, honey. So it's sort of, anyways, starting off my like yuck half, I'm gonna go with this Essence My Skin Perfector Tinted Primer Instant Blur Effect Natural Matte Finish. So this is one of those things that it says you can wear it on its own or you can wear it under foundation. It's a tinted primer, right? And it's a matte finish, so I was kind of like, okay, that doesn't sound awful. So I first put it on because I wanted to see how it would look just by itself. And it's a very like filmy matte finish, if that makes sense. Like it's almost a little too powder-like, but still it's like I don't know, it's like a whipped formula, and it just lays down weird. And then under foundation, it's like, take it or leave it, you know? So I wore it a few times under foundation. I didn't really notice anything weird with my foundation when I did wear it under foundation, but I bought it because it sounded like one of those things that I could just like smear on my face, be out the door type of a thing. But I did not like the way that this looked on my skin. No ma'am, no thank you. Okay, I guess this one could have gone on the first half, but it doesn't not belong in the second half either. This is the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I am gonna try to give this away. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of product in it. So by the way, these, I'm not just throwing these all out. Some of them still have a decent bit of product and are not totally old. So I'm going to try to give some away to like my friends and stuff. But anyways, this Face Tape Foundation, kind of similar to the Colourpop foundation and the Moira foundation, it's a very, very matte finish. Very matte, very full coverage. So where like Colourpop and Moira were kind of like medium to full, she is full coverage, girl. And the first time that I used this, I went in with too much. I put too much on and I just looked a hot mess, like a cakey hot mess. The second time, I was very careful to not use too much, and it looked a little bit better for the first 4 hours or so. But after that, it just is so matte and it's so dry that it like really cracks in those fine lines and everything. So like I said, it could kind of go in the first half, it can kind of go in the second half. It's definitely not a favorite by any means, so we're gonna get rid of her. Next up, I have from Shop Miss A, this is the AOA Buildable Satin Foundation. So I did get this on shopmissa.com, so it was like $1.55, I think. And it's just, ew, I just hated the way that this looked on my skin. It's like satin finish, and it looks okay when I first put it on, and it looks okay after I powder it, but it does not wear well. Even under like some good mattifying powder, it just gets so shiny throughout the day, and it kind of slips and slides, and it'll sort of look patchy, like kind of in the oily spots on my face. So yeah, I did not like it at all. I do like the AOA Studio matte foundation that they recently came out with, but this satin version was just not for me, girl, so she's getting the chop. Whew, okay, next up, this one killed me for how much I didn't like this one. It was so upsetting, and when I reveal it, you'll know why. So upsetting. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Stays all day and night. It stays, but it stays in a not cute way. This one, very similar to some of these other ones, lays down beautifully, just fine. Actually, I take that back. I don't like the way it lays down either. It's in the second half. It's like one that I just really don't like. It's not as smooth of a finish. It's like a matte finish, but it doesn't like go on soft and smooth like matte foundations usually do. It just doesn't look cute when I lay it down. And you know, after I powder, that helps usually, but I mean, it just collects and like it just does not wear well on my skin. Like all of the problems that you can have with a foundation, I have with this foundation. And it's a matte finish, and I usually like matte finishes, and it's Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm like, I was so disappointed that I didn't like it because it was so expensive. Moving on. Then I have the Shein Silky Matte Liquid Foundation, Flawless Coverage. This one, similar to the issue that I had with some of these other mattes, it's very matte, and it actually looks pretty good. Like when I first lay it down, I would say that I like the way that this lays down better than the Charlotte Tilbury. Just saying. I don't mind the way that it lays down. I don't mind the way that it wears like the first 3-4 hours. Past that, it is just a yucky hot mess. Kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury. Every issue that it could have, As the day goes on, it had that issue. Shiny in my oily areas, too dry in my dry areas, settled into my fine lines. No ma'am. It was cheap, so not, you know, I wasn't heartbroken over this one, but no thank you. Next up, this is the Kiko Milano Conscious with a K Vegan BB Mousse. This, so it's like a BB cream and it does have a very mousse-like texture. It's very similar to this Essence Skin Perfector with a little bit more coverage. And it's very similar in the way that it lays down, where it has like a filmy looking finish almost when it dries down. When it first goes on, it's whatever, but like after a moment or two, it gets like this weird, like it's trying to be powder-like, but it's just like not powder-like. It's just like ew-like, you know what I mean? I just do not like the way that this looked on my skin. It's matte, but it's a weird kind of matte. So I was bummed about this one because it's Kiko Milano and I love some of my other Kiko Milano foundations. This one just was not the tea for me, girl. Luckily it was Kiko Milano. I bought it because it was on sale, so it wasn't that heartbreaking. And then these next few were very like close in contention for my least favorites. This is the Revolution Pro, which is like one of the sub-brands of Makeup Revolution. Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Foundation, Moisture Rich, SPF 30. When I bought it, I didn't realize that it was for dry skin and I panicked a little bit. Because when I bought this was before I sort of made some changes that really helped me out skincare wise. So my skin was very oily at this point, so I was very nervous to try it. What's so weird about this one, it claims to be moisture rich and for dry skin, but even for me, with my oilier skin, it was too dry. And it's because the texture was kind of weird. Kind of similar to like the BB Mousse and the Essence thing, almost a little bit similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, kind of just weird finish, just like not smooth and soft and cute, you know? Under powder, it looked okay, but it just did not wear well for me at all. It collected so much in my nose area, my smile lines and everything. I didn't like anything about this foundation. And I find it so strange that it claims to be for dry skin because I can't imagine that anybody with dry skin would like this. So if you've tried this and you have dry skin, let me know what you think about it. I know that my girl Lee, or Leanne, I'm not sure if she goes by Lee or Leanne, she's like an internet friend, so I don't know which one she goes by. But I think that she said that she got this, so if you're watching, let me know in the comments if you did get this and if you liked it, because she has dry skin, so I would be interested to know what she thought of it. Then, oh my gosh, this one, you guys. Ooh, girl, this is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. So here's the thing. I don't know anything about this foundation really, as far as like what kind of finish it's supposed to have, what it's supposed to do, what type of skin it's good for. I got this in a BoxyCharm box and I was not able to pick my shade. They just sent it to me. It's the shade Vanilla, and it is like, if you saw my collab video that I did with my friend Miri, I used this in that video, and girl, I mean, you can even see me just holding it up next to my face. It is a yellow. I looked like a Skittle. And not only that, I think it's supposed to be matte because it seemed very matte. Not only that, I hated the way that it laid down. It did not blend into the skin well at all. I will also say though that I only wore it that one time in that video, so you know, take my feedback on this one with a grain of salt because I didn't wear it more than once and give it like a real good go. But I hated everything about it from the moment I started putting it on. So like the shade, not really the foundation's fault, but the shade was a horrible match for me. And like I said, it didn't lay down nicely, it didn't blur my pores, it didn't blend into the skin well, it didn't wear well, it just looked cakey and gross, and I did not like anything about my time with this foundation. So I never returned to it. I couldn't anyways because, like I said, not my shade, girl. But I just thought this was awful. I really did not like this one at all. It really just did not work for me. Okay. down to the final foundation. So which foundation did I choose to be my least favorite from this declutter? This one. This is the Pretty Vulgar Lava Water Foundation. I bought this one because Tarte recommended it, and I love Tarte. You know, she recommends a lot of foundations, but for some reason, after I watched her review on this one, I was like, ooh, I need to have that. Probably because of the packaging, because look at this beautiful packaging. It's so cute with the little birdie. It's so cute, oh my gosh. But this foundation, it's like a matte foundation, and it's very full coverage. It's very full coverage, and it looks beautiful when you first lay it down. It's beautiful, just nice, soft, smooth, matte finish. Looks fine under powder. For the first, like, I guess hour or so, it's not that bad. But oh my gosh, I will never forget. I put this on before work one day and got to work, and not even like 2 hours being into work, I went into the bathroom and looked at myself, and I was an oily, shiny mess. Like, she did me dirty, okay? At least the Becca foundation, the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, like, they laid down how they were gonna look. Like, they were like, this is me, take it or leave it, you know? She laid down so pretty, so nice. It looked so good, and I was so happy with my makeup when I left my house. But then when I was at work, oh my God. Anyways, this one was just not a long wear foundation. I don't know if it claimed to be a long wear foundation, but for me, it was barely like a couple of hour foundation. I think the reason that I chose this one to go last is because I'm the most disappointed in this one. It's kind of expensive, beautiful packaging, lays down beautifully, but oh my gosh, does it not wear for crap. Like, it just, a couple of hours in and it was already falling apart. So she gots to go. Also, it's old and I never use it. So those are all of the foundations that I am decluttering as of right now. My foundation drawer is still half full, and you know, it's only getting fuller, you guys know. I also recently did the same thing with my powder drawer. I had to remove a whole bunch of powders. I didn't know if that would be as interesting of a video, but let me know if you want to see it. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Sound off in the comments below if you have some thoughts about these foundations that I'm decluttering. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I said that already. So I'll see you in my next video.